We have found that the best way to change a behavior is to teach a new behavior that replaces the old behavior. A whole education system is based on this premise. The field of applied behavior analysis has been researching teaching strategies for many years and has confirmed that this is the best way to change behavior. We also know that a child's first teachers are his parents, and parents have a vital duty to teach. As we've said before, if children came into the world pre-programmed with everything they needed to know, they wouldn't need parents for guidance and support. Actually, the teaching steps are quite simple. First, you show the behavior you want. Then you have the learner do and practice the behavior. And finally, you make doing the behavior worthwhile. Sound familiar? Isn't that what's happening here? Let's use a teaching example here. The daughter we've talked about before, who doesn't want to go to bed, has been using delaying tactics, such as refusing to brush her teeth and then finding many incredibly fascinating things to look at on her way to bed. Then there are the drinks and extra hugs and cries for one more story. So what does this mom need to teach? Taking the problem one behavior at a time, mom can teach getting into bed quickly without a lot of dawdling and delaying tactics. Behavior Checker has a set of teaching tools that are based on applied behavior analysis research that you will soon get to see. And we'll use two of them here. One is called Beat the Clock, and the other is Grandma's Rule. In this case, Grandma's Rule is a when-then contract that states when you get into bed before the timer sounds, then you get an extra story and an extra hug. Beat the Clock involves mom setting the timer on her phone for, let's say, 5 minutes and says, "The timer starts now, go." Think about all that's being taught here. How to get into bed quickly, time counts, there's a reward for getting a job done, and racing the clock is fun. All lifelong skills that will serve her health well. The point here is to teach a child what she needs to learn. She doesn't inherently know that it is best for her health and well-being to go to bed at a regular time each night in order to get the sleep she needs. She doesn't understand that a consistent routine makes life less stressful. But for the parents, they can teach these facts. And that's how they can become caring, supportive, protective adults. But what about punishment? Now let's contrast this teaching model with the punishment model, which seems to be the fallback position most of us take when we want behavior to change. Somehow we have come to believe that if we punish a behavior, it'll go away and never return. And if it does return, we just need to punish it harder. First of all, punishment is focused on getting rid of a behavior, but it doesn't even look at a new replacement behavior. We've all had somebody say to us, "Don't do that." And we've wondered, if I can't do that, what am I supposed to do? The teaching model, on the other hand, says instead of doing that, do this. Over the years, there have been a lot of research in the use of punishment, and that research has consistently demonstrated that when punishment is used, the behavior usually doesn't go away, it just goes out of sight. In the face of punishment, we find ourselves only working hard to not get caught. There's a thriving business in manufacturing and selling radar detectors as a testament to this fact. A final word about punishment. The style of punishment most frequently used by parents is spanking, which is, by its very nature, bullying. Remember the bully strategy we discussed before. Bullying uses the threat of pain to discourage the unwanted behavior. Instead of a child knowing that if he behaves in a certain way, his parent will hurt him, without rules, he doesn't know what his boundaries are. It's like living among the bears. If he steps out of line, the bears will hurt him, but he's not ever sure what will trigger the bears to violence. He doesn't know bear rules. Imagine the stress level of the child in that situation. And if that threat continues, that stress level would become toxic to the child, affecting his brain and his mental and physical well-being. And before we leave the teaching components of mindset, here's that list of teaching strategies we have in Behavior Checker. We've already used Beat the Clock and Grandma's Rule. And over time, you'll become well acquainted with the other tools as you use Behavior Checker to give behavior prescriptions to parents to solve the problems they believe they're having with their children. Behavior Checker will help you because it defines the 3 steps of mindset: unique to every prescription and tells you which teaching tool would be most helpful for that behavior.